Hi there, welcome to this CISSP Twister of the Day number 137. My name is Manoj Sharma and I am hosting this CISSP Success Toolkit for you guys. I have been training for the last 7 years for CISSP and have trained more than hundreds and hundreds of CISSPs. Today Twister I have taken from the CISSP objective number 3.4, which says understand security capabilities of information systems. And this is a very testable topic in the CISSP exam. It's a little more technical, you can say. It's more of the engineering study, you can say. That's how it is. But let's go through and dive into this particular question. You are definitely going to learn a lot from this particular explanation. So let's go to this particular question. Feel free to pause this particular video, take a minute to answer this particular question, go through this carefully, and then compare the answer and your thought process with my explanation. I am going to come back in 10 seconds. I hope by now you have already identified the right answer as per your perspective. Let me give you the right perspective here. So before we go and talk about the options, let's try to understand the question itself and identify the keywords, because that's very important from the exam perspective. A security architect is designing a solution for securing end user devices within an enterprise. The primary goal is to ensure the integrity of the boot process. So you can see this particular question. There are few keywords here till now: end user devices within an enterprise, and the primary goal is to ensure the integrity of the boot process and provide a secure storage for encryption keys. That's the keyword here. Which of the following is the most appropriate technology to integrate into the devices? With that said, let's understand the security mechanism of the entire system. If you want to secure a particular system, because every system has a kind of kernel or the core component which is there in a particular system, you need to secure it by making sure that while booting as well, there is no malware which is coming and becoming part of the boot process by itself. So from that perspective, let's understand these different options and we will keep explaining all of them. Let's take it from the bottom. We will go with the option number D first. That is cloud-based key management services. Now, cloud-based key management services is a core component if you are hosting your infrastructure on cloud, and that is one of the preferred way and the very trending way in which companies actually manage the keys. Obviously, in this particular question, because this is saying within an enterprise, that the keyword here, right, within the enterprise, cloud particular thing will be in the control of a third party, so may not be the right answer here in this particular question. But also talk about cloud key management services as well. So whenever we go for cloud key management services, first thing is, it is always better to bring your own key. That means you have your own key, and for having your own key, sometimes you also need a vault which has to be there on-prem. If that is not there, what companies also do is they go and hire a third-party cloud to manage those keys, for example, like Thales and other things. If both of the options are not available, then having the same cloud service provider giving you the key management services can be an option, but not that preferred, right? Because somebody who is already managing your data and the same entity managing your keys may not be a great idea. So that is where cloud-based key management services is good if you do not have something else, but in this question it is not working out for us. So we are simply going to eliminate this option. The option number C talks about software-based key management solution or key storage solution. This is also a viable solution where we are using certain software like passkey and all these kind of stuff, which will be managing your keys. However, software based key management system are not that strong as the hardware key management, obviously, but still a workable solution if you do not have the sufficient funds to spend on the hardware key management. But yes, again in our question, we are looking for the boot process for the endpoints. And for the boot process of the endpoint, if we manage the security through a particular software, that software get loaded in the memory only after the boot process. So that is not something which is going to help. So again, from that perspective, we are going to eliminate this option as well. Then option number B talks about hardware security module, a great way to manage the key of the systems, the users and everyone. However, the HSM are very costly affair, and you cannot have a separate HSM for each and every device. That's not something feasible. Even if you are managing these key for these endpoints in a central location by implementing a HSM, and if there is a network error, then HSM may not be a great solution. So we normally use HSM for very sensitive data. For example, you are processing some kind of PII, or you are dealing with credit card data, all of that, then we go with HSM. But since in this particular situation, in this particular question, we are looking from a primary solution for the endpoint devices to get booted securely, I don't think HSM is going to be a business cost effective solution at the same time. So we will go ahead and eliminate HSM as well. Now obviously the left one is the answer, but let's also understand why this is the answer. Now what is trusted platform module? So trusted platform module is a small chip which is part of your hardware. That means which is integrated on your motherboard. Whatever endpoints you have, it is integrated on that particular motherboard. The current version is 2.0, which is highly secure as well. It acts like a black box, and you can store all the keys, you can store the certificates by encrypting by another endorsement key, that is what is stored in your internally to your TPM. Now this particular TPM also have a capability to generate a hash value of the entire BIOS framework. The boot process which happens through basic input output system, right? The entire thing, it creates a hash value of it and store it digitally signed into the TPM. So if on a hardware level there is some issues, or there is let's say a particular malware has come and sit onto that firmware, it can calculate that hash value and compare it with it, and you will come to know if the boot process has been compromised. So that way TPM is the right answer for this particular question. I hope you are liking this entire series, the technical explanation, all of that. These are the kind of questions which you can definitely expect in your CISSP exam. May not be the same questions, but something on those lines. And these explanation will definitely prepare you for the real CISSP challenge. And if you are seriously preparing for CISSP, do consider visiting my website cyberhouse.com. Connect with me in the description below, and you can enroll into the entire CISSP success toolkit and get prepared yourself to crack your CISSP in flying colors. With that said, I am going to meet you in second video. Jai Hind till then.